like for you, things. Goodbye.
Oh, you some more provision, some more his brethren. No doubt these are not should you right.
Hey, Bertram.
That was a fun. It heartens. No immobile. I just left my wound, and yet he, despite my now. May we meet again. Do you wonder he's one of the? I can only. But we needn't. He too, and that makes. We're not God. I doubt our men. Let's maybe meet again.
As long as you abide by his footfall. As long as you.
All right. Next place that I want to go is Oliver. Skip it. Spiky. Here we go.
You the town lady let us under the town. My name is I too. So here's the new big. Well, I'm as weak as I've always been. I'm afraid. Sorry.
So once you talk to this guy, you want to go back and talk to more. And he will give you something.
Well, oh, give this. He asked me. I finally.
Which you can then... Oh, I didn't need to camp. I could just come back and go back to Talia. And talk to Talia again.
Oh,
Give
I have
Lex
to say
syrup.
it's wonderful. I don't think I'll have to think of something.
Ask
you
about
too,
it.
I'll mix up something special. If you find your sleep is
And then say I'm
that
weary
something?
of
Take
life.
this concoct for you for all.
And you get the concoction. This is used in the quest if you choose to. I actually did it my last playthrough. Didn't need to, just did it. Did it goofing around. And that actually finishes that whole thing. You must do this before certain events occur. That has to have been done. That takes care of that set of sort of, that has to happen first events. I could now, and I think I will, go straight to the dragon. Now the drawback being that Bale seems to have a pretty decent invulnerability to lightning. So this build is not Bale friendly. But that's okay. My build is gear based, not stats based. It is the DLC.
There is I mark my.
Come on, where's my invasion? There it is. This character's 452? 455. I actually gained a couple of quick succession levels, because I basically did a quick series of bosses. Yeah, it's kind of a different sort of focus when you get up really past New Game 2 or 3. You're pretty much not you're pretty much just going boss to boss. Oh Jesus, I don't know, 600 hours, some stupid amount. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But here we go. Watch this. Let's see if I can sneak up on this guy. Bastard. Now that's purely leveraging the ridiculous amount of damage Sacred Blade does to those that live in death, or whatever that's called. All right. Ton of those katanas now. But I have sold a bunch of them. And back. Now we got a dragon to kill. For that. The sisters. What does this say? Ah. 13. NG plus 13. Actually, I don't want those. Who do I want? Nah, just do this. Damn. Oh, really? None of those just hit. That's crazy. That was, you see that one lightning attack where I was standing right next to him and somehow it all missed. It's nuts. Absolutely nuts. Man, they just keep getting tougher. It doesn't help that I've got, like, negative. Yeah. Anyway.
Picture on the front. It would be the fool and your. Yeah, now there you will land, but devour. I will in the neck. Warrior true. In a defile becoming a sin's land, but seek fear. In a time defile becoming a sin's land, seek fear. In a defile becoming a sin's land, but seek fear.
Let's go kill us a dragon. Nope, come on, come on. Although I'm gonna have to decide if I want to try and kill Bala's lightning. If not, I'm gonna have to decide what build for Bale. This sounds like a weird alternative band name. Bale. Anyway. How's everyone doing today? And konnichiwa. one hit. Wow. Yeah, get under them. So there are a couple things that you can do. The first thing is that you can use defense, right? So if you look, for example, at the shield, this shield has a fire negation of 81, so it'll actually reduce a lot of fire damage, as long as it's hitting the shield. If you've got the shield up on a guard, you still take damage, you're just not going to take all the damage. And then there are other shields that you theoretically could do that might take more, but I'm pretty sure of the ones I'm carrying, Fingerprint Shield is like the highest damage absorption shield that I've got. In there may be like one shield, but that's as long as your guard stays up. If they knock your guard down, with the, even if you have the shield up, if they still manage to knock your guard, then you'll take the full damage. Meter range. Now all I'm left with is the actual named one. There. Pestherite spears absolutely destroy dragons. Why no block?
What a sight! A warrior true, if ever one there was.
Well, I had my shield up on block. I was like this.
Drake warrior. Egon.
The problem is that it's not.
Do
hold on a
you
sec.
not remember? Conjure your past, how once you were.
So
when fear was yet foreign to
nah.
you.
I don't actually have any interest in the level 1 rune run. I think they're great. I know people enjoy them, but it's all good. I mean,
grant me to take this.
It just doesn't really interest me.
My limbs are limbs no but a draw, and my.
So I'm gonna rewind because I want to reset all my numbers and then go back. So you say why no block? Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that I'm like grokking that question correctly. So this is a shield up on. When you say no block, do you mean guard? Or am I misunderstanding the question? talent. That was for you. Perhaps you're not there anymore. Or Egon. Anuski. So, I don't know. I'm trying to sort of replay in my head when that question might have been like, that was the relevant thing. So, I didn't intentionally, like, avoid blocking, I guess I didn't intentionally, like, avoid doing a block. Sometimes you'll have a block up, but if you go to cast, the block is going to drop. Like virtually anything you do that isn't a thrusting weapon. See how here's the guard, right? The guard stays even though I'm thrusting. Only thrusting weapons have that effect. Anything else that you attack with, even if I'm, casting a spell, it'll drop my guard. And so yeah, I'm already max. I'm already maximum loaded. I've got, even still, I've got, are they in here? I forget where they stick them. I always assume that they're in the key item. They might be, oh, here we go. I've got 96 golden seeds. I've got 99 Shadow tree fragments, 65 stored. Yeah. One playthrough you can max out. 2 playthroughs, if you haven't maxed out, you're trying not to. I'm going to summon you that way. And I'm going to buff us up. Now, I may be about to discover something, well, not discover, I may be about to be reminded of something that this guy is super lightning resistant, in which case, it's all pest threads, baby. So I've got my shield up, right? I'm still taking damage, and there, see, he broke my stance. That's why. So I had the shield up, but because my stamina depleted too far, I couldn't keep it up, and I took full damage on the 3rd hit. That's the catch. I probably would have survived it if I had healed. But that's the block only works as long as you can hold your shield up. The moment that your stamina runs out, you're in trouble. So we're going to try that again. Except this time, we're going to buff immediately. These. Let's get that heal in. Let's get that in. I'm just going to drink that down. Oh, I shouldn't have gotten hit by fire there. Ooh. So one helpful thing about this fight is stay out of the water. Because he uses lightning as his main attack, the water will do extra damage to you if you happen to be there. Notice also... Oh, yeah. So notice also... so there, since it's a physical attack, the shield basically stops most of it. And also notice I'm trying to keep his body targeted, not his head for these attacks. And there's a reason for that. Uh-oh. Get out of the water. So, one of the things about Pest Thread Spears that makes it a unique spell is that everything that it passes through, it's going to damage. So if you have the body targeted, even though you're in front, the pest threads come out, and if it hits the head, it does damage to the head. And then if it goes through the wings, it does damage to the wings. And if it goes to the body, it does damage to the body. And if it keeps going through to the tail, it does damage to the tail. So it can actually do a huge amount of damage. It's why if you're standing under and you throw the pest thread spears out, man, it just absolutely eviscerates whatever you're hitting. It's one of them things. Now where am I supposed to go? Up there. Bale is next. I don't like the fact that I'm walking into Bale with 1.8 million rooms, though. Oh, I'm just heading to Bale. I'm gonna go kill a big old dragon. Well, or die trying. Maybe a little bit of both. Yeah. Absolutely. Pests absolutely deserve pest thread spears. I hate those mobs. I understand the sentiment. I don't agree, but in that respectful, I like the original game more kind of way. The base game, however, I fully understand that, and I wouldn't say you're wrong. In fact, I won't say you're wrong. I think it's a perfectly valid opinion. It comes down to that aspect of it. There are things about the DLC that I don't like, but it's definitely awesome sauce, for sure. 2.6 million. When I get to the next point, I'll show you. I've just got to get through the run, that's all. It's some ludicrous amount. I need to go that way. But I need another one of these. And one of those. And one of those. And one of those. And one of those. I'm being goofy. And bail. It's a good question. How many does it take for me to level up? It takes 2,580,000. I have 800,000 worth of runes. I might, actually. I do. I don't want to do it that way. ng+13. Okay, I'm taking a brief intermission. Oh my god, did I have the holy one? I had the holy one on. That's really funny. That whole time I should have been doing an extra... I took extra damage, but I didn't do extra damage. Duh. In fact, I didn't want this either. That's hilarious. So, I recently had rune farmed. Sorry, it's just too funny. I had recently rune farmed, which I'm about to do again. But bear with me. I don't want to risk about 2 million runes. It'll be fairly quick for me to... burn through the ledge. I actually don't spend a lot of time here. I can't answer that question directly. I did not... The only reason that I've come here, with one exception, is to preserve runes that I have. Right? I don't want to... It's not my goal to level up on the ledge. That's not something that I've been trying to do at all. But I also don't want to risk losing 2 million runes again. I think I've lost over, in one drop, I had lost 3 million runes. And it's my own stupid. But I don't want that to happen anymore. So I had been coming up here while I was leveling on rare occasion to clear up runes. But usually, unless I'm destined putting a lot of runes at risk, like 1.8 million, I'm not gonna, come back. Yeah, it does. What would be nice is if I got a gold mine. So sometimes what happens is, it's called Waves of Gold or something. Let me open it up. It comes with this sword. It's unique to this sword. Yeah, Wave of Gold is what it's called. This is when you beat the Elden Beast, this is one of the items you can take. That should do it, right? Yeah. Alright. Okay. And this is my good faith gesture that I'm not going to go back and do that, but I do need to fix other stuff. Am I going to huck that spear, or am I going to be casting mostly? I'll huck the spear. Problem is, I think this is not going to be very effective. Because I'm about to walk into a boss fight where I'm probably going to die a lot, and I don't want to lose 1.8 million runes. That's still more than half a level. So it wasn't farming to get a level. It was farming there's no, like, if I could go to sort chest, right? If I could go here and I could put runes in there, I would. And I would just keep pumping runes into the chest until I'm ready to level again. That's what I do. That's not an option. You just need to carry those runes around. And since I don't want to risk losing all those runes, just getting the last part of the level is the way to do that. I'm not going to spend an hour leveling on the shelf. Some people do. There's no reason for me to do that. I just hate seeing the runes lost. And if I die and there's a rune pile with 2 million runes on it, I'm focused on getting those runes back, not on winning that fight. Yeah. It's just kind of one of those things, you know? Now, I hate this first time. Many bosses, I think, many bosses don't have the way that this opens, and the way that this opens is really frustrating for me. I wish somebody would attack him.
True great warrior.
That'd be awesome.
Egon. Your fear made flesh.
Oh, I'm dead. Damn it. Yeah, I forgot about that. Grab. I hate this opening on this guy. That was with my shield up and damage reduction.
I hereby vow.
Yeah, this quest line is super short. When you first enter into the area down here, where is it? When you first are walking, you come down here. When you get to this pillar pathway point, there's a guy right about here on the ground. He's like whimpering and, you know, he's the grumpy guy, right? And then you just keep going until you get through here, and then right here you find him again after you beat the two dragons that are fighting, two drakes that are fighting. You find them here, and then he tells you, he gives you a finger, and then you just keep going until you get to the very top. I don't know, I hope I explained that at least a little bit. Alright. Go. This one. And then this one. Yeah, you're welcome.
Hereby vow, you will rue this day. Behold, a true great warrior, and Egon, your fear.
456, I think. The first 5 seconds of this fight are just obnoxious.
hereby vow you will rue this day. Behold, a true great warrior, and I, Egon, your fears made flesh.
There we go. Finally. I also hate the fact that you can't target his body. I find that to be very obnoxious.
Solid of scale you might be, foul dragon, but I will riddle with holes your rotten hide. With a hail of harpoons! With every last drop of my being!
Cast, damn it. It's crazy to me that that just did no damage. That's the second time that's happened where I've been like right next to the guy, I cast that spell and it just does no damage. And then other times it like chugs half their health.
No longer.
The reason for the lock is it makes it much more likely that the shield is actually going to do its job. That's what I've learned. Pretty sure Egon's gone. Alright, and I don't need to go back and visit him. I don't need his crap. I've got it like 800 times. Now, people have talked about that somehow... Oh. That's... Why is she gone? Huh? Doesn't matter. That there's supposed to be some way to get a teleport spot near Placidusix somehow. I've never seen that. I've never seen anything kind of built in there. Anyway, that does the dragons. Don't think... Alright, into the castle we go. What time is it? Alright. Yeah, I asked for that. Yeah, I screwed that up. Well, I'm not level 800 plus, but I think more your point is this game is easy when you're high level. I think that overlooks the fact that even after 7, the scaling still happens. It does. I've had 1,000 people say that it doesn't get any harder after +7. They don't add extra hit points to bosses just because it's +8, +9. However, the scaling as levels goes up continues. There are bosses, okay, well, you can say that all you want. There are bosses that at +7 did not kill me with this build in one hit, and now they do. They are hitting harder. They are scaling a little bit at each level, just like the scaling goes up. But okay. Whatever. Misinformation. Welcome to Fox News. What are you talking about? So, +7, that never would have killed me. Full shield protection, 2/3 of my health. And those things blasted through my shield and killed me. Yes. And on my 14th playthrough, they continue to still hit harder. Let me make a slight change on that statement. On my 14th playthrough on this character, they definitely hit harder. Nah. I've done 4 or 5 playthroughs since 7 in this armor set. That one's on me. Yeah. You weren't here 20 minutes ago when I just farmed up 700,000 runes just so I didn't lose 1.8 million. Oh, you didn't get close enough. Oh, I got him a couple times. Look at that. That's just crazy. Bale was easier than this guy. Fine. All right. I hate having that thing on the screen. Not close enough, I think. Nope, got it. Yeah, some of these things, like, used to one-shot them, now I don't anymore. I mean, if you've played through and you've done done playthroughs and stuff before, I think, any build is a decent one to start with. I think when I finally did a Vagabond build, I finally learned at least something new. Whoop, 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 whoop. Hello, hello. What the hell? Did you just notice that the frickin' my shield wouldn't come up? Did you see that blink like 800 times? The shield wouldn't come up. Go figure. Giant pain in my ass. So I get for getting lazy. Yeah, the shield just wouldn't come up. Now it's coming up. What the hell? What the hell? I shall have to kill this guy again. Anyway, I mean, if you want to do a melee build, you can start with like a samurai kit, but no matter what, you're going to be medium armor. Ultimately, the way that you beat the easiest way to beat most of the really big bosses is big sword, big shield, or actually thrusting weapon, big shield with big armor. But that's when you have the points to put into everything. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason I carry that thing around. Level 456, something like that. Yeah, 456, 456. Early game, I don't know that there's a particularly more... Oh, it's a fragment, never mind. I don't know that there's a particularly more awesome or less. This character, this one that I'm playing through, started as a... what's it called? The level 10 everything. What's that called? Wretch. I think that's called. Not connected in a hole. Maybe inside will make it in. Aw, come on. Well, I suppose that it also depends on what you consider to be early game, right? Ah, come on. Boo. Really? Alright. Thank you for letting me know. That is easy enough to fix. Well, it's either that or my voice is too quiet. I mean, is it all loud, or is it all kind of quiet, but my voice is quieter? H. Is it any better? Huh. Does master volume not actually do master volume? Is that any better? I mean, I can barely hear it now, so I'll turn it up for me. Is it bad? Is it good? Where are we at? Does it work? Are we at least at a yes, that is acceptable level, or what's... I just want to make sure that if I make a change that it's a sane change, I guess. Okay. All right, thank you. I appreciate the information. This section right here, I'm always very tempted to switch to Blasphemous Blade, because these guys are just obnoxious. See how hard they hit? It's just ludicrous how hard the Mesmer soldiers hit. I haven't played Lies of P. I've had people mention that before, actually, but I haven't given that one a try. Yeah. Watch this. Oh, I might have enough leeway. Yep. I don't have the items to buff these. Where do you go? Where do you go? There he is. Now I hate this guy. This guy is so obnoxious. Speaking of mobs, I can have maximum everything, and this guy will one hit. And every single playthrough, it gets worse. Nope. Are you kidding? I've had this guy walk up and said, "Excuse me," and you're like, yes, and then he just immediately destroys you. Seriously. This guy... Yeah. I thought this was like one of the... This guy's harder than most bosses in the game, honestly. That may be... Ah! Oh, there he is. And Bob's your uncle. Oh, apparently not that time. No, he has one charge of healing. He's like one of those... What are they called? An invasion guys. I mean, I'm not really sure I understand what... I honestly don't really understand the question. I think the Epstein files are telling people something that's been going on the whole time. And it's no surprise that the people who are in the Epstein files are in them. I'm not really sure I fully understand. Well, it could be. I don't think people understand just how grotesque some of the stuff that could have been going on. How grotesque some of that stuff was. Oh, rats. There we go. Here's what I believe many people, either side of the aisle, don't actually understand. The damage that has been done and continues to be done to the nation is irreparable in most cases. And a lack of truthful information and a lack of critical thinking has led to people believing and failing to understand some of the most asinine and useful information, respectively. Let me give you an example. Most gasoline in the U.S., a lion's share of the gasoline in the U.S., comes from Canadian oil. Well, it did. That's where it came from. When you hear the price of crude, that's for a specific type of crude, and different oil from different places actually has different prices. Sometimes you'll hear the term like light sweet Texas crude. We have the best oil quality in the world, and that's why we export it, because it's fantastic for making things like jet fuel and most importantly, high-end plastics and other things that require very high-quality, clean, which is a funny word to use, but quality petroleum. Canadian is like the dirtiest, most heinous, disgusting stuff. And you can't put just any oil into just any refinery. A refinery that's making gas and diesel and all the things is designed to work with a certain quality of oil. So we have all these refineries that were designed for Canadian oil, and we paid Canada well below market rate because Canada only had one person they could sell to, us. We had the pipelines and the other routes that would take the oil, they bring it to our refineries, which make it into gas and ship it to the rest of the country. With special consideration for California. I don't want to talk about California. The point is, when Trump tariffed stuff and he pissed off Canada and he made it so that Canada didn't want to give us oil anymore, it doesn't matter the reason why, countries like China went to Canada and said, we'll pay you more for your oil, and we'll build the export stations, the export terminals on your coastlines to export that oil. So not only will they buy it more for more than we were buying it, but they will also build the equipment that it takes to do that at their cost. Why do you think they did that? Because now they're getting cheap oil, just like we were, even if it's more expensive than what we paid. And the moment they build those terminals, why would Canada keep selling us that oil? Because now they can get a better price exporting it to other people, and it didn't cost them anything to do it. Those terminals aren't going to suddenly stop working once this turkey's out of office. They're still going to be able to export oil, and we're no longer going to get cheap oil. That's what makes our gasoline cheap. The damage that he is doing is permanent. And that's what people don't get. It's not going to get better. What we have to do is keep it from getting worse. And that's just one example of the bullshit that this guy's done to utterly destroy the power and influence that the United States had. When he canceled all of those low, I used to pay 99 cents a gallon for gas, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, low gas. And that's in California. And I'm not that old. When the hell was gas $5? The only time I've ever paid $5 a gallon for gas is when it was in a super rich neighborhood for full service gas. Gas in California is not even like $5. Yeah. Never $5 in California. So I can't speak for Illinois, but I know that we pay about $1 more per gallon than anyone else does. I mean, I could find gas stations where it was $5 a gallon. I can find gas stations right now where it's $7 a gallon where I live. I can also find gas stations where it's under $4. Again, I can find individual stations where it might have been like that. Bye! This guy doesn't really need it, but I'm about to find a place to camp that out anyway, so... And honestly, I almost never buy gas anymore anyway, because now I have an electric car, and it costs me $20 to fill the tank. Oh, yes, like I said, okay, so, to be fair, I could find you a gas station right now where I live, where it's $5.27 a gallon. And I can drive 2 blocks and get the same quality gasoline for $3.79. No, it's, I apologize. Sorry. The rantiness negativity is coming from the fact that I was just ranting about another aspect of it. Gas is not cheap right now. It's never going to be cheap again. Like I said, we should have been getting, and we should continue to get, we should have being able to continue getting cheap oil from Canada compared to other places, and instead we're not. The price that we pay for the price that we used to pay for Canadian oil was tied to the price of Texas Light Sweet, which is that $70 a barrel or $90 a barrel that you'll hear sometimes. It's connected to it, but it's crappier quality, so we'd pay less for it, and Canada didn't have a choice about who to export it to until now. We gave them a reason to have that choice. The problem is that decades were spent getting people used to the idea that you can't trust news, and the way that you do that is you create news stations that just lie all the time. So first you create news stations that lie all the time, then you report what those news stations are saying on other news stations, and then you tell people you can't trust the news anymore because you can't tell what's true and what's not. That's what you do. And that's exactly what they did. And so now even smart people don't know what's real and what's not, because they accept the idea that, well, MSNBC is just as bad as Fox. Even though Fox was provably wrong constantly, and MSNBC would prove and cite their sources all the time, and Fox would never cite their sources. And when MSNBC was sued for information, the people suing them would lose. And when Fox News was sued in Colorado and in Florida, their defense in court was, we're not news, we're entertainment, and no normal person would actually believe that what we're saying is true. That was their defense in court. But people say they're the same thing. One's left, one's right. They're not. I do. Here's the, okay, so there's a couple things though that you have to think about when you're looking at like a personal charger for an electric car. When you hear about people driving up, plugging their car in, it's charged in 8 minutes and they drive off. That's a high-speed charger. That's a level 2 charger or more. That's 350 kilowatt. Those are massive chargers. You do not have the current at your house to do that at all. Not even remotely close. You can do maybe 10 kilowatt, 12 kilowatt. You can't do 300 kilowatt. So if you have a home charger, you need to make sure you need to be prepared for the idea that while I can plug in my car like I did this evening and get it from 20% to 100% in like 40 minutes. If I stopped at 80%, it would have taken like 15 minutes. But if you can charge your car that fast there, that same charge time would take a day or two at home. What home electric chargers are designed for is you drive up to your house, you plug it in, and it stays plugged in perpetually until you get out and you use it again. And then you come home, you plug it in, and you leave it plugged in. It's like if you had a gas car and at home you had a decent-sized tank of gas, but you put a straw in the tank instead of like a whole size thing, right? We also have a solar system that we installed. And so when I use charging at home, I'm using the solar electricity, but I only want to use the solar that's not powering my house, because the electricity that I pay for at a charging station is pretty cheap compared to like high price at my home is not a lot less than what I would be at a car charger. So it's convenient to be able to do that. The real savings comes from having solar, not from having a charger at home. By having solar, the solar power will charge the car. But again, the amount of electricity that's being generated by my solar is way less than the amount that's being generated than what the car is going to take in the batteries. And let me give you a way to measure that. My home solar battery system has 3 wall units, 3 wall batteries on my house. And that's more than most people get. Most people get 1, maybe 2. I got 3, and to run computers like these, right? So I have the 3 units on the wall that save electrons all day long from the solar, so I don't waste any, right? So I've got 3. If I wanted to be able to use solar to load my batteries all day long, so I could plug my car in at night and dump those batteries into the car, which is not a good idea, but let's say I wanted to do that, I would need 15 wall units of batteries just for that, and I wouldn't have anything to run my house overnight. The wall units are typically 5 to 6 kilowatt hour batteries. Your car is going to have anywhere between about 70 and 120 kilowatt hours, just to give you kind of a range. What's in your car is massively larger than what you're going to have in your home, unless you just put a wickedly huge charging system in your house. So anyway, so they just if you're thinking about going with an EV, I would highly recommend an EV if you have at least one person who's doing a lot of relatively short distance driving, and I would absolutely lease an EV, not purchase an EV. But I would look at the leasing term. I would normally never lease a car, but for an EV I'd lease it, because in 2 or 3 years the technology will have changed a bunch, and you can hand the keys back in, say thank you for the rental car, and then set yourself up for the next one. But you have to look at the finances for that. That's a whole different thing. Back to the game. Hey, Griffo. Yep. Get leaded to help. That was California's design, and there's been some backpedaling from that, especially since the coward-in-chief basically canceled some of the mandates and then got his cronies in Congress to help him cancel more of them. So they took away a whole bunch of the rebates and stuff that would be available for things like solar and for things like EVs. They took a bunch of them away that were incentives to get people to buy them. And that's really unfortunate. China makes EVs for about half the price, and they're about twice as good. In China, EVs, you drive them up to a station. No, I have a VW, an ID4. If in China, one of the cars that they sell, you literally drive up to, they have stations all over the country, all over the city, and you drive up close to it, you press a button or engage the system. That takes over your car, pulls it into a bay. They take the old battery out, they put a new battery in, and you drive away. And it's actually faster than filling a gas tank. And you pay the same price it would to charge that battery. America's been putting 100% tariff on Chinese electric cars for decades to protect Tesla. That's who they're protecting. They're protecting Tesla, nobody else. And did you know Tesla's largest car plant is in China? No, I'm on TikTok, YouTube, and oh, I haven't been watching it. Oops. TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. Although Twitch is a festering pool of crap for people actually going in there. Well, it's an American company, so they're protecting an American company. The problem is that they can build them much cheaper in China because they actually have the materials to make them. We have to buy the materials from China, the rare earths that we use to make various parts of the electric cars. The rarity and price of lithium has actually gotten so high that they're talking about opening lithium mining operations in California. If you screw up so bad that California regulations are worth it for mining, you've done something wrong. Okay, let's see. Get you. Get you. Get you. Get you. Why did my... God, it's so dumb. No, get her back in the water. Come back to the water. Ow. Ow. Uh-oh. Let's keep her in the water. Ow. No. Aw, come on. Seriously? Oh. Let's see if I get credit for it or not. Probably not. God. Ugh. What a pain. Yeah, so anytime that you have water, when mobs are in water, the lightning does extra damage, because after doing its normal damage, there's an AoE that goes like that. You can see it in the water, and that does additional damage. It's not a lot extra, but it's a little bit extra. But it is good at AoE. I was robbed. Yep. Yeah, if you watch just around her feet, you'll see like a circle will form. I'll take that as a compliment. Alright, let's see if I can do this right. Oh, and I want to just do this straight up. Oh, come on. Nice if, yeah, if you could get the frost landed on her too. So see that weird, did you see that red that kind of hit the floor? No. Oh, well, they finished her off anyway. So see all, do you see how there was that red dance along the floor separate from everything else? I may be able to force it. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, it's not, without hitting something, it's not going to do it. But it does like a circle that goes like that. It's actually pretty cool. None. This is it. This one is enough. I also used to go after those Wickermen on purpose, but that just became too painful. Yeah, this is it. I started with Elden Ring. I got other games that I play.
Did you meet Micah quite the doubtless, were it not this the word? Wondering, true enough, long ago, a cleanse, it's no wonder that aside, and in this, they will never say just happens, but it's still a... One true enough, long ago, a cleanse, it's no wonder that aside, and in this, they will never say just happens to be, but it's still a...
Where'd it go? There we go.
I found
Dryleaf Dane. Oh, thank you for the follow.
He says the truth of it is evident.
Alright, make sure we get that touched. Alright, let's do some interesting stuff. We're going to stay away from the tower, or the keep, just so we don't lose the rune. Oh, I don't want to do that yet. Let's get my butt kicked. Oh, gotta watch that. Jesus. Nope. Oh, come on. God, I hate this guy. Telling you, every time he just gets harder. I suppose I'm never going to throw this thing at him, so I could instead go Answer Rapier. They're not. My understanding is that they're done with any DLC. If you want to play like a new Elden Ring like thing, what you want to do is play Convergence. Yeah, saw that coming. Yeah, there's a thing called Elden Ring Convergence. I'm not maxed, but I'm pretty close. And that Convergence is pretty damn cool. But it's a rethink of Elden Ring. It uses the same core map, but they make massive changes to the map. Let's do this. Ah. What? Bullshit. There's a bleed hit. No. Come on. God, I hate that. Nope. Dad. I hate this fight. Nope. That's still the sound of me trying to get away from this guy. Oof. He just, like, never stops moving. Oh, it's frustrating. Alright. At least I'm past that now. There we go. Sometimes it feels like I'm maxed out. It takes forever to level anyway. I actually went the wrong way. I meant to go this way. Boop, boop, boo. Youch. Yeah, I may just start a new character, and just start a playthrough anew. I may play a different game. I've tried. The thing is, I've tried streaming other games that I play around the same time, and I just get no response. I want to go back here. Okay, sorry. There's this one turn I keep, like, getting wrong. Anyway, I'll get it right this time. Yes, this is the DLC. Yay. I think it's not really an issue with the game. It's just an issue with any time that you play a game enough. What happens is that I really enjoy exploration of all the, like, little nooks and crannies of the game. And the problem is that I've been to them enough that I don't feel the need to go back again on these additional playthroughs. If I start level 1, you want to do those, right? Because that's where the gear is to upgrade. But once you've kind of done all of that, it suddenly becomes a lot less interesting to try and go back and do all the caves and everything. It's I don't know, I guess it becomes very repetitive. It'd be nice if there were, like, plus versions of the gear. That would be an incentive to going back to do stuff again, for example. And it's not like a huge oversight. It's not like I'm something I'm angry about or whatever. But it's just kind of a bummer that there's not, like, an incentive to do anything but kill the bosses over and over again until you actually get to a point that it's like, alright, well, now it's just boring and repetitive. Especially when you get into the scenario, which is, I've tried streaming other games and people just don't watch. And that's what's weird. Like, I'll stream something that I think is actually an interesting game, but people just don't seem interested. I don't fault them for that, but it doesn't change the facts. You know what I mean? That was a lot of extra jumps I didn't need to make. But why not? As for the electric, I actually really liked the Ford Mustang Mach-E. Hi, Mia James on Twitch. Please don't ask me to buy artwork or connect to do whatever on Discord or Instagram. What was I saying? I really liked the Ford. And when I went to find out the terms for the Ford, their leasing terms were absolutely insane. Enough that it was basically, I kind of told the guy, you can't be serious. Basically, it's like, you can't be serious, right? The terms that you're offering to lease this car. The Ford was about $55,000. The Volkswagen was about $55,000. The leasing terms on the VW was, for 2 year, was $2,000 down, $318, $348, $350, we'll say, $350 a month for 2 years, and then a residual of, whatever it was, $40,000, $38,000, something like that. So it was a relatively reasonable lease term, right? The Ford, basically the same price car. For 2 year, they wanted $3,000 down. They wanted $650 a month, and the residual was just as big. And when I was looking at all the different models, the Subaru was off the table because the closest one was like 50 miles away, and they were at a point where there weren't going to be any transfers. Those are the three I was looking at, and the Subaru terms were even better. Otherwise, I already knew what those were because I'd researched them before. Anyway, when I looked, Subaru had two. Like, within 100 miles of where I lived, there were like 5 or 6 dealerships. They had two total cars. VW had 6. Kia had none of the current, like, the model year that I would have bought. But of the next model year, they had like 4 or 5. Hyundai had a couple. I forget the exact number. It was like 4 or 5. And on and on and on. That Ford dealership, just that one dealership, had 157 cars, electric cars. So when I finally, I told the guy, the finance guy, I said, I just want to, I told him, I said, I want to be clear that every other dealership of every other brand of car have the same leasing terms that I'm talking about, plus or minus small amounts. For about a $55,000 car, it's about a $350 a month payment for 2 years, with about $2,000 down and a residual of about $38,000. That's approximately what everybody wants, except you, who wants $650 a month with a residual that's even bigger. Everybody else has less than a dozen cars, in some cases 1 or 2 left. You have 100 and something. And his response was just, this is what Ford is doing. Okay. And then I think they did it on purpose. I think they did that very much on purpose. Because when you went back to look at what Ford was saying afterwards, Ford was basically saying, yeah, we can't sell any cars. No one's buying electric cars. It's like, that's a damn lie. Lots of people are buying electric cars. They're just not buying Fords because their prices are outrageous. Or should I say, the leasing terms are insane compared to everybody else. And by the way, the only American-made Ford electric car was the truck. The Mach-E was made in other countries. So if their argument is buy American, okay, so who's actually making cars, electric cars in the US besides Tesla? Lots of companies, just not American car companies. Go figure that one out. Ah. Oh, the rune is still up. That's why I can't go through the door. I'm using a build. Sorry, I rambled on after your question. The build is an Ancient Dragon based build. Alright, I'll have to play with Saint Trina later. I think I have to pop... Oh, I gotta go to bed. But I think I have to break the rune in order to do that. Let me talk to all the NPCs.
Well, you come off. You enjoy. I
like you. That's why he attacks you later and tries to kill you.
Right.
May we meet again.
Yep, I have hit all the NPCs. They are all advanced on their quests as far as it can. That means I can break the rune.
Just give me the word if you need any more poison.
Will do. Alright, I will go in through... When it's time, I'll go in through the back entrance, not the front. Anyway, alright, I'm going to call it a night. You all be awesome. Have a fine rest of your week. Although I may be streaming over the next day or two, I will not be streaming much, if at all, starting on Thursday through Sunday. I will be off taking care of other things. Be awesome, be excellent, be good to each other, and have an awesome year, and I will talk to you all later. Hang loose.